left-wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat.
Retired four-star General John Kelly, who was Donald Trump's White House chief of staff, told the New York Times that Donald Trump once said, "I need the kind of generals that Hitler had." Ace, what do comments like these say about Donald Trump's mental state?
Well, mentally, I mean, you know, and we can talk towards that. I'm not going to call him crazy on this part. I honestly been saying from the beginning that I think, you know, the far right wing and part of the Republican Party is modeling us after, you know, 1930s Germany. I've been saying it. If you look at it, it's scary. If you look at the playbook, you know, you got a charismatic leader. You know what I'm saying? You write up a doctrine. Germany did the same thing. That basically takes away all the democratic power of the government. That's what Project 2025 is. You know what I'm saying? From day one, transferring all the power over to one person. He's fitting right into that playbook when he says that. You get generals that on command are going to do crazy things. What do you think the Blitzkrieg and all of that stuff that happened in Germany? Why do you think they went and started throwing people in the concentration camps? Where do you think that comes? That's called mass deportation. It's the same thing they're saying. Same thing they did in Germany. They rounded up all the Jews and threw them in concentration camps, threw them out the country. Same thing they're going to do. They want to do with the Hispanics and the Latinos. You know what I'm saying? And you guys need to stop dividing yourselves and thinking he ain't talking about all of y'all. He's talking about anybody that he feels is an immigrant from the southern region. He's not talking about anybody from Canada or northern region or anybody from Eastern Europe. They're not talking about those immigrants. They're talking about the ones that come in from southern countries. So his relation with Hitler, I think, is the one thing we're talking about that's serious business, and he's really cognitive about that because I think that's been their agenda.
Yeah. And what makes it even scarier is this. In a way, he's similar to Hitler because with Hitler, his generals knew his ass was dangerous. They steady were trying to kill him. He had like a ridiculous number of assassination attempts from his own fucking people because he knew he was dangerous.
Look at Valkyrie.
Yes. Okay. So you have that. Okay. You look at Trump. Everybody who was around him, vice president, secretary of freaking defense, secretary of state, you know,
Attorney General.
Yes. Everybody is like, oh, this motherfucker didn't know what he was doing. He's dangerous. Same thing. The only difference is they ain't trying to kill him because they ain't in that position.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. When the people who are around you the most have no faith in your leadership, you are not a good leader. He is a good entertainer. He understands numbers. He looks at things like it's a TV show. And running the country is not a TV show. So things might look good from an optics perspective, but they might be bad for the country.
Let me touch on that real quick, man. Understanding that one number is bigger than another number is not understanding numbers. That's kindergarten shit. And that's all he understands. He wants to see high numbers. My numbers were bigger than someone's. He don't understand numbers like that. He understands a bigger number and a smaller number. And that's the end of his fucking understanding and comprehension right there. Because he ain't that smart of a motherfucker. Secondly, I hear what y'all are saying. Yes, he purposefully wants all of this shit. He wants to be like Hitler. He wants to have generals that are like Hitler's generals. He wants all of that shit because he wants complete loyalty to him. He does not care about loyalty to our country. He does not care about loyalty to the Constitution. He cares about loyalty to him. That, to me, is crazy. Do you think Hitler was crazy? Well, if you want to be like Hitler, don't that make you crazy too? I mean, just because he has a plan to be like Hitler, don't mean he's not crazy. And I'm not saying that y'all are saying I'm not saying that y'all are saying that.
I know what you're saying.
He crazy. Something is wrong with the man who admits to anyone in private. He didn't have to say that shit publicly. If I said some crazy shit to you in private, what you gonna think I'm crazy? You gonna be like, something wrong with Malik, bro. You gonna come tell my friends and shit like, Yolanda, did you know that Malik? You know what I'm saying?
I won't come to your wife like that.
I don't know. Probably not my wife. But
Yeah.
Steve, Tina, somebody, you're going to be like, look,
I'm hoping she knows.
Like,
You know?
Tina, talk to Malik. Talk to Yolanda about Malik because he done went off his rocker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like some shit like that. But at the end of the day, man, if he goes to somebody he thought this motherfucker trusted him. He thought he could trust him.
Mm-hmm.
He thought it would never get told. Thought no one would know that he said that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Thought wrong.
Here's the deal, man, and you touched on it. We're going after the Department of Education because we want people to know anything. The further we get away from World War II and understanding people not understanding who Hitler was and what he did and how he was trying to take over the fucking world. I mean, real life fucking comic book villain. You know what I'm saying? Like real life. Probably the biggest thing that we had on this shit. Honestly, trying to take over the world. You know what I'm saying? You're creating that character here, and as much as you laugh at him and joke at him and saying shit like that, he's got the things in the wheels in fucking motion to be in that same position.
Yeah.
He didn't make this shit up. Like I said, you look at it, if you lay it line by line, and I've done this shit to look at it and research it, and was like, this is some scary shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Plain and simple. Like you said, he's going after the Constitution. This is what confuses me about black people. That's all we got. Our protections are in the Constitution. He gets rid of the Constitution and says, oh, yeah, we'll just let them divide it by the states. Well, hell, Mississippi may think about the state laws that they have on the books, bringing them back, which is segregation, you know what I'm saying, second-class citizenship.
Serfdom.
Yeah, and taking our voting rights away. That shit's protected in the Constitution. So that's why when they have blacks for Trump and all that stupidity and shit like that, I don't understand it, man. I just can't.
And also, again, to get back to like what we were saying about what he has said to the people around him, he also said, well, why don't we just, we having these problems with the cartels in Mexico, why don't we just bomb Mexico? Mm-hmm. He doesn't, the stuff that he says that he will do is stuff, people always talk about needless wars, this, that, and the other. The reason we didn't get into a whole bunch of crazy ass wars when he was in office was because the people around him were like, no, sir, you can't do that. No, sir, that would be a bad idea because of blah, blah, blah. A second Trump administration is not going to look like that. He's not going to have people telling him
no guardrails.
Yeah, because the people who would tell him no, you can't do that aren't going to get put in a cabinet. He's not going to have those type of experts. It just rounds about to what we've been saying this whole program. It's not everything he does is it's poison.